Riemann sums and the definite integral. If we start here, guys, from the book, we will not understand anything. But I started yesterday some concepts about this Riemann sum, and I said that if we have a function x squared plus one, and we approximate or we estimate the area, we estimate the area by using either the left endpoints rule or the right endpoints rule or the midpoint rule. Okay, and as you see here, our rule is sigma, or the summation I equals 1 to n of delta x f of xi, which is the sum of all what? The sum of all areas of the subintervals, or sub-portions, or the portions here for the rectangles. All depends on area of rectangle length times width, and the width is delta x, which is represented here by the distance between each number and the next number on the x-axis, and the height is f of x or y. The height is f of x or y. Okay. Number one, we start to find the area or estimate the area or approximate the area from the left side, أو بنسميه the left endpoints rule. The summation when I is 1 is 4, and we divided here the distance from 0 to 2 into 4 subintervals, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the length of each subinterval is half, y half, because we have a rule here. Delta x equals b minus a over n, and b is the end of the upper limit of the interval, which is 4, and 0 here is a. So we substituted, we got delta x is half, and then substitute. When you find your area, you multiply the length by width, which is the length is constant each time, which is 0.5, and now common factor. Open parentheses, the sum of all heights inside, or the sum of all lengths inside, the sum of all lengths of all rectangles here. Okay. f0 f يعني لما تشتغل على الليمت، يعني لما تشتغل على الليفت endpoints rule, you have to take 0 and 0.5 and 1 and 1.5 only, and don't take 2. When you walk and find or estimate the area by using the right endpoint rule, you can take all except what? 0. You can take 2 and 1.5 and 1 and 0.5. Okay. To find f of 0, for example, you substitute in the original function 0 squared plus 1, which is 1, and so on. This all we did it yesterday. And also, when we average here, this is the midpoint, also the area using the midpoint rule. Okay, and it's the most accurate one, as we see here. The exact is 4.67 by using the integration directly, gives 4.67. By using the midpoint formula, gives what? 4.62, the most accurate one. For the left, 3.75, which is underestimate. For the right, which is overestimate. And أصلا الفانكشن معنا x squared plus 1, which is increasing function. Okay. So let's just take one more example here. Let's take one more example for how to approximate or estimate the area when the function f of x is equal to x cubed on the interval. Let's take from let's say from what, 3 to 9. We can do it first, guys, by using the definite integral, which is the area A equals the integral from what to what? From 3 to 9. And then, yes, the function x cubed dx equals, what's the integral of x cubed? It's x to the power of 4, and this all over what? 4. And then we're gonna evaluate this all from 3 to 9. Then it's 9 بنبدأ من فوق، يعني من upper limit of the integration, which is 9 to the power of 4 over 4, and then minus 3 to the power of 4 over 4. So plug in 9 first and then 3, and always minus between them. And this is what we gonna use, guys, during our next sessions, not the Riemann sum. The Riemann sum is a way you have to know in calculating the area and approximate the area, not calculating the area. All the way they started to calculate the area under curve and the x-axis or the y-axis. So 9 to the power of 4 over 4 minus 3 over 4 to the power of 4 over 4 محتاج a calculator. So please calculate it and give me
1620.
what?
1620.
1620 in all? Well, only
Yes.
9 to the power of 4 over 4 minus
No, both.
both of them, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So let's find here guys let's estimate. Here is the exact answer. This is the exact answer. But to estimate, guys, here the area, how to estimate the area, we will start first by dividing here the distance from 3 to 9 into subintervals. And this depends on how many rectangles you would like to form. So let me start first by four rectangles, okay? So 4 rectangles here. N is 4 يعني I need to make here 4 subintervals between 3 and 9. So in all I have 5 points. Now to find delta x represents here the width of each subinterval. The width of what? Each subinterval. Okay, equals p minus a and this over n. P minus a over n. What is b? 9. What is a? 3 over 4. The 4 are number of rectangles or number of subintervals. 9 minus 3 is what? Is 6 over 4. So it's equal to what? 6 over 4 simply equal to 3 over 2. Yani 1.5. So the distance from 3, we're gonna add 1.5 to 3 gives 4.5, and adding again 1.5 to 4.5 gives 6, and 6 and 1.5 gives here what? 7.5, and 1.5 plus 7.5 gives 9. So as you see here, we have 4 subintervals. Now to calculate, let's calculate it from our estimated the area from our using the left endpoints rule. Yes, which is delta x multiplied by f of لما اخد الليفت يبقى you have to use these points 3 and 4.5 and 6 and 7.5. Use only 4 points, which is in the middle. So we have f of 3 plus f of 4.5 plus plus f of 6 plus f of 7.5, and then here stop. Don't take here 9. And then to find the area using the left endpoints, we will substitute delta x. Delta x from the previous step is what, guys? Is 3.5 or 1.5 as the 3 over 2 or 1.5. F of 3 calculated here, 3 to the power of 3, which is 27. Okay, and 4.5 to the power of 3. 4.5 to the power of third. To the power of third. To the
91.12.
91.13. It's here 4.5 times 4.5 times 4.5. I don't have a calculator. 91.125. Then plus when we have 6 to the power of third, I know it, it's 216. 7.5 times 7.5 times 7.5. It's all 421.875. When we add all up and multiply the answer by 1.5, and we have 27 plus 91.125 plus 216 plus 421.421.
1134.
Yes?
1134.
Okay, 875. ماشي multiply 1.5 it's 1134. Okay, this is your approximate area using the lift. Okay, so it's simple now. Who can do it, guys, when we have to approximate here? Number two, let's approximate here the where. Yes, let's approximate here. The difference that عشان to find يعني the area using the right endpoints rule, we have to use only 9 and 7.5 and 6 and 4.5. محمد فارس متى يلا delta x 1.5. Okay, open parentheses. F of 9 يعني 9 to the power of 3. Let's write it here. F of 9 to the power of 3. 721, right?
Plus
Yes, plus
yes.
what? Plus f of
729 يا مستر.
729. Okay, f of 7.5. 7.5. It's here.
101.875.
Yeah, 4.875. And then f of 6. 216. It's up here. Okay, and
Yes.
f of 4.5 also it's up, which is 91.125. When we add this up and multiply your answer by 1.5, yes, 729 plus 421.875, and then plus 216, and then plus 91.125. This is 1,000. Listen, by 1.5. It's 2,000, right? 2,187. So please, it's overestimate. Yeah, not safe, guys. My exact answer is 1,620. 1,620. طيب الرايت دايما في الانكريسنج فانكشن يطلع overestimate. يعني using the right overestimate, using the left it's what? It's overestimate here. Overestimate, and here underestimate. Okay, طيب. Using the midpoint اللي هي دايما the most accurate one, so it's delta x also multiplied by f of plus f of بجيب الميد points بس. يلا. So I have to move back or draw here. لا, move back وخلاص and find the mid points here. These mid points. Yes. This midpoint here between 3 and 4.5. What's the midpoint now? The halfway between 3 and 4.5. Yes. 3 plus 4.5 is what? 7.5 divided by 2. Okay. It's 3.25. Right?
3.75.
3.75 is 7.5 divided by 2. It's 3.75. حلو. طيب, let's see here and write the first endpoint is 3.75. Okay. حلو. 3.75. The next, is 3.75, and then the next midpoint 4.5 plus 6, 10.5 divided by what?
5.25.
ماشي. طيب 5.25, and the next point here, this point 7.5 plus 9, 7.5 plus 9, and then divide by 2, it's 8.25. Yes. What this point was it? So what?
This point is 5.25.
This point is 5.25. And this point here between 6 and 7.5.
It's 6.75.
Yes, it's a 6.75. 6.75. Okay. طيب هنشتغل على the point. So it's delta x, which is 1.5, the same constant each time, which is the distance between each number and the next one, or the width of the subinterval. وبعدين f of 3.75, and then f of 5.25, and then here 6.75, and then plus the last one, which is f of 8.25. Okay, yeah. The calculator, I have to calculate this all when my function is x cubed, or when my function is any other function to x minus 1, any function. Okay, yeah. delta x 1.5 and f of 3.25 cubed. Give me guys quickly. What is 3.75 to the third power? Yes.
52.73.
What? 52.
52.73.
And then plus f of 5.25 يعني 5.25 cube.
144.7.
It's 144.7 plus the next one when it's 6.75 to the third power.
307.5.
And then when 8.25 here cube.
561.5.
561.5. And then when you add this all and multiply by 1.5, yeah.
1599.75.
1599.75. Okay, so okay, let me here guys highlight this one means that the area by using the midpoint, what formula the midpoint here gives here the most accurate one 1599.77, which is closer to 1620. Okay. 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 By using the Riemann sum, guys, you have to know this formula, which is the area is equal to the limit as x n approaches what infinity, as n approaches infinity of yes, the summation of the summation notation, which is sigma from I equals 1 to n of delta x times f delta xi times f of xi. But before we start using this formula, because this is the definition of, or sometimes it's asking you not to approximate using the left and right or midpoint rules. No, it's just asking you to use the the definition of definite integral and Riemann sum. Okay, so first of all, we have to know what is delta x, or the rule of delta x, which is طبعا this all in the closed interval a to b, يعني between 3 to 9, between 1 to 2, between any two numbers, closed interval between any two numbers. The delta x is b minus a over n. This is number one, you have to know. Number two, which is حسب انت تحسبها right ولا left, when it's left and when it's right. How to find the x when it's right and when it's left. Okay, when it's left here, the x I is equal to a, which is here, plus delta x multiplied by I minus 1. Okay, when you would like to طبعا نشتغل right لأن it's less, the math is less complicated. The math is less complicated in the right way, but it's hard in the left way since we have I minus 1, so it's gonna be hard. So, or more complicated than the right. So we always use the right way. خلاص. And here xi in the right way equals a also, which is the starting number in the interval, plus delta xi. Delta xi. What? Okay, multiplied by delta xi. شباب ركزوا معانا. يبقى this is how to find the delta x, and this is how to find the xi اللي هي بتكون هنا. يعني we will find first the xi and then substitute. Okay. And n approaches infinity. We should know also some what other rules, like what نستخدمهم برضه, like the summation of when I is 1 to n of any constant. okay, is equal to ci, sorry, cn. Okay, it's c ضرب n, يعني c times n. Okay, the summation when I is 1 to n for I only, which is it's n
IN.
times n plus 1. Okay, and this all over 2. Now the summation when I is equal to 1 to n for I squared equals n times n plus 1 times 2 times n plus 2, and this all over 6. And let me make sure. And then when I is 1 to n for I cubed also is equal to I think n plus 1 times n plus 2, and this all over 2 all square. Yes, let me check here quickly from the rules, because this rule is not in the book, guys. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll make sure of the rules here. It's n plus 1 over 2. Yes, yes, this one is not correct. So please, if you write it guys, خلاص خليها كده أو عدلها, which is n into n plus 1 and 2n plus 1 over 6. Okay, and when it's n cubed, لما يكون ال I cubed, summation of I cubed also, it's all power 2 also guys, بس مش كده. it's here عشان هنستخدمها هنا لما يكون بنعمل evaluate. It's n into n plus 1 and this all over 2 power 2. يعني I to the power of 3 بتعملها replacement summation of I to the power of 3, you can replace it by n into n plus 1 over 2 all square. Okay? So this is the important rules we have to know before we start using this formula above to calculate the area. Okay, and what does it mean by summation from I1 to n for I cubed, which is 1 to the power of third plus 2 to the power of third plus 3 to the power of third plus 4 to the power of third and so on. يعني if we take till 5 مثلا فنوقف عند 5 to the power of 3 and so on.
So what are these rules?
These rules we're gonna use it while calculating the areas here using the definite integral definition. This is called the Riemann's sums. The
Yes,
I,
Mr.
the I squared, the I cubed.
We solved for the area. It was I understood it, but how are those related?
You will see in the next example. Okay, let's take the function. Let's take this example when the function is f of x is equal to x cubed. And let me say مثلا that the function the closed interval from what to what 0 عشان ما يبقاش كبير زي المره اللي فاتت فيها 1000 وكده from 0 to 3. Okay, and the question طبعا is find the area or estimate the area using Riemann's sum and the definition of definite integral. Here's the question, be like this. So let me first guys find the area طبعا by using الطريقة العادية اللي هي الانتجريشن, the definite integral from what 0 to 3 of x cubed dx, which is simply equals x to the power of 4 over 4. Don't say plus c. ما فيش c هنا لا. من 3 to من 0 to 3 في limits هنا. في حدود في upper و lower limit for this integration. Substitute first 3. Plug in 3 first and then plug in the 0. Gonna be 0 over 4 and this all to the power of 4. وكده طبعا this all is 0. 3 to the power of 4 which is 81 over 4 right? So please, I do not have a calculator here. You have it. You have guys to calculate this for me, please.
81/4 is equal to
One minute,
20.25.
Mr. Elias. Because here the answer can be what decimal and so on. So I would like to change only the function. We started first for x squared, right? So let's make it x squared to be easier for you, because x cubed, that means that we have I to the power of third, and it will take a long time, may take one full period. So when it's 2, x to the power of 2. X to the power of what? 2. What's the integral of x to the power of 2? It's x to the power of 3 over
3/3.
From 0 to 3. And now,
Yes,
يعني يا
we
شباب,
put 3 to the power of 3/3
over 3. And then minus true
and
0.
minus 0
0 over, طبعا 3 cubed is the 0 also.
equal 9.
Okay. 27 over 3, which is 9. So now we have a whole number. This is my exact, خلينا نقول مثلا exact. Now, let's find here the area by using the definition above here, which is the limit as n approaches infinity of the summation. The limit as n approaches infinity of the summation when I is 1 to n of f of xi times delta xi. Okay, this is the area. It's what now? It's 9. Okay, so let's start first, guys. So we have the limit as n approaches infinity of the summation, right? The summation I equals 1 to n of f of xi delta x. طيب delta x كم؟ ما حسبناهاش، نيجي نحسب من ال first rule up here at the right. Delta x, which is b minus a over n. احنا طبعا هنستخدم ال right way. Now we have two ways, right and left. So I'm gonna use the right way. Delta x ثابته في الرايت or left. Delta x is b minus a over n. What is b? b is 3 minus a 0 over n. n المرة دي unknown. Not like the previous questions, you know that n is 4 انت مقسمها على مزاج. So my answer is 3 over n. So let's replace delta x here by 3 over n. طيب f of xi. f of what? of xi. تعالى برضو على الرايت كده واحسب الاكس اي حسب الرايت واي اللي انت شغال عليها. x subscript i x sub I equals a plus delta x I. Delta x I, which is, what is the a? The a is 0, right? Plus delta x, which is 3 over n multiplied by I. So simply we can write every x here, I'm sorry, I is 3i over n. It's what? 3i over n. And then substitute here f of x I. You know what does it mean? f of 3i over n. And since my function here is x squared, so my next step gonna be limit as n approaches infinity of the summation of I equals 1 to n for this function. طيب يبقى 3i over n all to the power of 2 multiplied by 3 over n. Now expand to the power of 2, 3 to the power of 2. Again, I'm going to write this all the same. 9i squared, and this all over n squared multiplied by 3 over n, which is simply the limit as n approaches infinity of the summation when I is 1 to n. Pay attention please. 27, 3 times 9 is 27. I squared اللي أنا هجيبها من هنا. Okay, over what? Over n squared. Over n قصدي cubed, right? Over n cubed. So please, I will take this all and I'm gonna move to the next slide. I will write it here again, so please pay attention. The limit as n approaches infinity of the summation when I is equal to 1 to n of what? 27i squared over n cubed. 27i squared over n cubed. Pay attention please. في important step here. The limit as n approaches infinity. We can طبعا you know من الفيرست term يا شباب، من الفيرست term you know that we can write the constant outside the limit. يعني we can write here 27 outside. You can write it outside. يعني ممكن اطلعها برا. يعني the limit of the summation is the same as the summation of the limit. Okay? Let me here erase this and write it again. خلي بالكم ممكن اعمل ايه؟ اشيل يعني بدل ما هي limit to the summation خليها the summation of the limit the same. So it's the summation. Yes. Or let me write it as separated. يعني write it as what? Sorry. Let me write it as here. The limit of 27 over n cubed. Yes. Multiply by when n approaches infinity. خلي بالكم هي multiply by the summation when I is equal to 1 to n of I squared. Why this all? Because we have studied in the first term that you have studied this rule in the first term in the properties of limits. لما كنا بناخد limit as n أو x أو anything approaches infinity. Limit at infinity. What we said, guys, we said إن هي يعني مثلا a number c over n and the n approaches infinity equals directly 0. Like here, 27 over n cubed equals to what? طيب summation of I squared is n plus 1 times 2n plus 1 over what? Over 6. So this all we're gonna substitute n plus 1, 2n plus 1, and this all over 6. Because it's I squared multiplied by the limit here as n approaches infinity of 27 over n cubed. So is equal to the limit as n approaches infinity of 27 over n cubed multiplied by, let's multiply up here, n by n plus 1, gonna give us n squared plus n, and this all multiplied still by 2n plus 1, and this all over 6, equal the limit as n approaches infinity of 27 over n cubed multiplied by, multiplying up here, n squared plus n times 2n plus 1 gives 2n cubed plus what, شباب? Plus 2n squared plus n squared plus n, right? And this all over 6. 27 over n cubed times. طبعا هناخد n common factor. Okay, we still have 2n squared plus 2n plus n. Why, mister? We can combine like terms first. I'm sorry. We can combine like terms first and then take a common factor, because n is 2n squared and n squared is 3n squared. When we take n a common factor, so we have 2n what? Squared, okay, plus 3n plus what? Plus 1. And this all over 6. Simply, we can cross out the n with the cube. We still have n squared down here. So the limit as n approaches infinity for 27 over 6 multiplied by 2n squared plus 3n plus 1, and this all over n squared, because we crossed out only the n with the cube. So let me write it in the next slide. Yeah, the limit as n approaches infinity of 27 over 6 times, yes, 2n squared plus 3n plus 1, and this all over n. We have to separate this quotient, right? n squared over n plus 3n over n plus 1 over n, okay? And then take the limit for each part. And based on the rule I said in the limit of a constant over n equals 0, so we simply have here أخذ the limit of the first session, the limit of the second term, the limit of the third, and so on. So what do you have here? 27 times 2, n squared over n, we can cross it out, so we have 2n only, right?
Yes.
Yes, over 6, and then take the limit for this part as n approaches infinity, plus Yes, the limit, we will cross out here the 3, the n with the n, and take the limit of 3. Okay, and when n approaches infinity, plus the limit, but we forgot to multiply by 27 over
Multiply,
6.
yes.
Multiply 27 over 6. بعدين هنا the limit of 27 over 6 times 1 over n. What do you think, guys? What your answer is going to be?
So the one on the right will be 0.
Yes,
The one on the right will be 0.
the one on the right will be 0 to n squared over n.
I mean the 1 over n.
1 over n here, this one.
Yes.
Yes, it will be 0. And here,
It's constant.
simplify, it's 27 over 2, it's constant. 27 over 2, and we have here over 2n, it should be over 2n. I think that we have to... طيب المهم شباب احنا وصلنا لحد هنا، هنكمل بس لازم تطلع معانا constant، يعني the limit of one of them should be constant. So I think that let me complete it, guys. Let me complete it in the next period. Okay, هي ناقص one more step only, which is, where is it? Yes, 27 over 3 should be 27 over multiply. خلينا نكملها بقى على رواقة في last period, because the period is finished and I have another period and we need time, guys, to check where the mistake. Where's the mistake in this question? I think that we have to complete it إن شاء الله. هنبدأ بها الحصة الأخيرة.
تمام.